In the winter of 1841, an extraordinary establishment called the American Museum opened its doors for the first time on the corner of Broadway and Printing House Row, at the very heart of the new metropolis. Its proprietor was a 31-year-old itinerant showman from Connecticut named Phineas T. Barnum, an ex-newspaper man with an uncanny instinct for the new mass culture beginning to emerge in New York City.
Barnum is a quintessential New Yorker in part because he's not from New York. He has a sense of the times. He has a sense of the chaos of the times, of the urban kind of milieu. There's lots of people coming in and out of New York. There's movement. There's differences. People are not quite sure how to relate to each other. They're not quite sure who to trust anymore. They're not quite sure if the person who appears to be a gentleman because he's wearing good clothing and has a beautiful pocket watch is someone who really truly is a gentleman or not.
Eager to exploit the shifting interests and anxieties of New York's increasingly diverse citizenry, Barnum programmed something for everyone in the American Museum, including a scale model of Dublin for the growing number of Irish immigrants, and a 3,000-seat Morrow lecture room for New York's upright middle-class establishment. Other popular attractions included a mermaid from Fiji, a knitting machine operated by a dog, a bearded girl named Annie Jones, a 25-inch midget named General Tom Thumb, a pair of Chinese brothers named Chang and Eng, the original Siamese twins, and playing to the growing national obsession with the question of race and origins, an 18-year-old microcephalic black man from Georgia, whom Barnum presented simply as the What Is It?
March 2nd, Friday. Stopped at Barnum's on my way downtown to see the much advertised What Is It? Some say it's an advanced chimpanzee, but it seems to me clearly an idiotic Negro dwarf, raised perhaps in Alabama or Virginia. His anatomical details are fifthly simian, a great fact for Darwin. George Templeton Strong.
Barnum was the primal huckster. He was the Adam and Eve of hucksterism. But the idea was to draw a paying crowd, no matter what, and he was a genius at it. He changed his tricks over and over again. He had a seemingly unending number of them.
Now and then someone would cry out humbug and charlatan, but so much the better for me. It helped to advertise me, and I was willing to bear the reputation. I engaged queer curiosities and even monstrosities simply to add notoriety to the museum. P.T. Barnum.
There's a game that's being played here. They enjoy the notion that they're being conned, and he's almost inviting you to figure out how he's done it. You know, where's the humbug in this? And you know that you're being had, but there's a pleasure in the game of both being had, knowing that you're being had, trying to decipher how he's doing. You know, how does the magician work his tricks? So Barnum is the spiritual grandfather of ballyhoo, of advertising, of public relations, of a bold brassiness that's a critical component of the New York psyche, certainly from that point on.
From the day it opened, the American Museum was a stunning success. During its 27-year run, Barnum would sell 42 million tickets, 7 million more than the entire population of the United States. Inside, the enormous differences already dividing New Yorkers dwindled for a moment, against the backdrop of the human extremes on display. Outside on the city streets, however, those differences were becoming more and more troubling with each passing year.